sometimes you can have information, but you don't necessarily have to put it out there with a slant, right? Information is to be given, or dispensed to where it can actually help, right? So, because sometimes we can amass a certain level of education and then we can be subjective, right? But I didn't want to be subjective with my information because I was constantly under subjection by the parole board. So, in short, that's one of the things that I thought was like actually helping me to be able to be informative without being subjective.
So why don't we, Bianca, talk a little bit about some of the meat in this, some of the elements that are included here, and I'm going right off of your website where they talk about academic casework and workshop series, learning exchange, reentry planning, college place, all these different pieces that play into the work that you're doing inside.
Yeah. So as I said, the Prison2College pipeline, the bulk of the Prison2College pipeline are the academic courses that we provide inside the facilities in the transition, right? It being designed as a reentry model. And initially, when we were going to be at Arthur Kill, we had designed it as an inside-out model. So we would have incarcerated students, and then every week we would bring in students from the community to take classes together. When Arthur Kill closed, we couldn't do that, right? Because it's much harder to get students from the community up to Otisville. So what we did instead was to create learning exchanges. So once a month, we have students from John Jay and students from Hostos Community College who travel up to Otisville and take a blended class with the incarcerated students. And the idea behind that really is, these are students at John Jay and students studying criminal justice at Hostos, and we think that it's a vital part of your criminal justice education that you have experience, exposure, connection with people who are directly impacted by the criminal justice system. Then we also wanted our students at Otisville to see that we weren't just putting together some pansy program that was, kind of half-wit, thought up. This is an actual program and curriculum just like you would get in the community.
Is it a liberal arts major?
It's because we're designed as a reentry initiative, our students, we mimic the first year of college, right? So you're taking humanities courses, 100 level courses that when you go home and you enroll in the community, that those courses are applicable to any major you would want on the outside. Again, we're designing it in the way that is the most expansive so that students have as many options as they could possibly get, and there's something valuable about having the campus experience, right? We want, that's where I built my connections, right? Was with faculty on campus, right? And with the student groups on campus, and that's how I built my network, right? And so we want the same for our students who are out there. So the learning exchanges are a big part of the programming. As I mentioned before, our partnership with the Osborne Association in doing kind of reentry and discharge planning with the brothers before they leave, right? It's huge. We all have plans of what's going to happen when we go home, but we want to make sure that we've got something in place that can actually facilitate that.
So have